Former Virginia Governor Doug Wilder is calling for Virginia Commonwealth University to pay up to the tune of millions of dollars in a new lawsuit filed in federal court. Thanks for joining us for 8 News at 6. I'm Deanna Albritton.
I'm Eric Phillips. Wilder claims that he was threatened and harassed in a text message sent by a former employee and that the university should have fired the employee as a result. 8 News reporter Olivia Jaquith joining us live in the Digital Center to break it all down. Olivia, good evening.
Good evening, Eric. Deanna. Well, it's worth noting that Wilder is representing himself here. He's calling for a trial by jury and $5 million from those either currently or formerly associated with VCU, including its president, Michael Rao. But where that will actually go in court remains to be seen. Former Governor Doug Wilder versus Virginia Commonwealth University, the nation's first elected black governor suing the university where he serves as a distinguished professor for $5 million.
It's not the kind of suit that I think you see every day.
Wilder, an attorney himself, filed the suit in federal court on Friday. Documents detail what the former Democratic governor says was not only harassment but also threatening behavior by former VCU employee Jim Burke. After Burke sent a text to Wilder back in January criticizing his ties to the newly elected Republican governor Glenn Youngkin. The text reads in part, quote, "Welcome the Nazis. I have no respect for anyone who supported him," end quote.
There's talk in the suit where he's alleging that threats occurred, but when you read the statements that even he is saying, they don't really sound threatening. They sound more like political criticism.
8 News legal analyst Russ Stone says it will be interesting to see how those named in the suit, which include VCU President Michael Rao, will respond.
He's going to have to justify that at some point. This filing isn't going to be enough to do that.
According to Wilder's suit, it all started on January 30th with the text from Burke. He later sent an apology to the former governor, but ended up taking it back. By February, 2 others named in the suit were reportedly made aware of Wilder's issues with the text, and so a series of steps toward Burke's termination appeared to be underway. But by May, Attorney General Jason Miyares had sent an official letter to VCU, stating that the university was within its rights to terminate Dr. Burke. However, in June, an email from Burke's attorney stated that he had resigned and retired.
If a court allows something like this to go forward, there's going to have to be some showing of damages, and I'm not sure how you actually quantify those kinds of damages.
Now, I did reach out to each of the individuals named in the suit as well as Wilder's office. Those defendants from VCU who responded simply noted that they cannot comment on an unsettled case. Live in the Digital Center tonight, Olivia Jaquith, 8 News.